All right, settle down. Settle down, everyone. Grab your metaphorical popcorn, or better yet, your actual, ridiculously expensive, organic, gluten-free popcorn, because we're about to get real. Like, really real, many people, they ask me, they whisper, they slide into my DMs. Hey, 27-year-old financial wizard, what is the secret? What is the big, juicy, scandalous secret to making bank, to living your best life, to not feeling like a confused potato in a sea of perfectly manicured influencers? And you know what? I tell them the absolute, unvarnished truth. And guess what? Nobody, I mean absolutely nobody, ever believes me. They want the magic pill, the overnight success story, the get-rich-quick scheme. And when I tell them it is about being boring, being patient, and doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing, their eyes just glaze over. It is like trying to explain quantum physics to a goldfish. Bless their little, bubbly hearts. But you, my dear friends, you're different. You're here because you're ready to hear the truth, the uncomfortable, sometimes brutal, but ultimately liberating truth about navigating this glorious, messy, exhilarating, and often utterly confusing decade we call our 20s. I'm 27 years young, still very much in the thick of it, so there is plenty of time for me to spectacularly screw things up, and trust me, I probably will. But hey, that is part of the charm, right? The journey, the constant, slightly panicked, slightly exhilarating journey, and so far, it has been quite a ride. I've learned a few things, picked up some battle scars, and distilled it all into 6, hopefully mind-blowing takeaways for you. So buckle up, buttercups, let's dive in. First things first, and this one's a doozy because it goes against every single perfectly curated Instagram post you've ever seen. Learn about different careers, not just the one your parents think is stable, or the one your college brochure shoved down your throat. When I was a fresh-faced, naive, ramen noodle-fueled college student, I had absolutely no flipping idea what I wanted to do with my life, and let me tell you, that is okay. It is more than okay. It is normal. I started off thinking I'd be some hot-shot business guru, all suits and power lunches. Then I swerved hard into biology, convinced I was going to cure something, or at least dissect a lot of things. Turns out, I hated both of them, with the fiery passion of 1,000 suns. The lab work, the endless lectures, the sheer, unadulterated boredom. It was soul-crushing. Then I pivoted, again, into its systems management, which sounded fancy. And then finally, glorious, beautiful software engineering. And you know what? I really truly think, I've found my calling. My point is this. I tried a bunch of different things, some of them a spectacular failure, some of them just a mild disappointment. And through all that trial and error, I figured out what genuinely clicked for me. Those internships I slogged through when I was 19, 20, and 21. They weren't just resume builders. They were crash courses in reality. They taught me what kind of job I definitely didn't want, which, let's be honest, is just as important. Go to career fairs, even if they feel awkward and you just collect free pens. Go meet different people, even if you just exchange pleasantries and then awkwardly shuffle away. Your goal in your 20s, especially the early part, should be to explore, to experiment, to find something that genuinely ignites a spark in you. And here's the kicker. Worry about learning, not money, to begin with. I know, blasphemy, right? In a world obsessed with immediate gratification and chasing the highest paycheck, I'm telling you to slow down, to invest in your intellectual capital, to try new things. What are you good at? What do you genuinely enjoy doing? Do you want to continue your education? But like for real, not just because someone else told you to. You need to think long term. Don't just take the boring job that pays the most money. If you think you'd be a better fit somewhere else, don't be afraid to shake things up, to do things that are uncomfortable. Because comfort, my friends, is the enemy of growth. Trust me on this one. I've seen too many brilliant minds trapped in golden handcuffs, miserable and unfulfilled. Don't let that be you. Your 3,000 hours of life energy, that is what we're talking about here, is too precious to waste on something that drains your soul. Next point. And this one, oh boy. This one is crucial. Learn about money and how it works. And for the love of all that is holy, get your finances in order. The earlier, the clearer. The faster you learn about how money works, the faster you can use it to your advantage. Given your long-time horizon, I don't care how boring it sounds. I don't care how intimidating the jargon seems. It is absolutely necessary to educate yourself on money, investing, and the magical, almost supernatural power of compound interest. When I graduated college and finally started making enough money to, not live off instant noodles and regret, I devoured books, articles, podcasts, anything I could get my hands on about investing principles. If you went to college, chances are you're in debt. A lot of it, you might have a starting job, and if you're lucky, a nice salary to kick off your career. But here's the thing, you want to spend as little as possible, like ridiculously little, and begin your investing journey. Focus on learning. Now's not the time to get fancy. Avoid buying expensive stuff with your new salary. I know that shiny new gadget is calling your name, but resist. My friend, resist. Limit going out. Limit spending. Keep your overall expenses as low as possible while still enjoying life too. Because balance, right? I mean, you don't want to be a complete hermit, but you also don't want to be blowing all your hard-earned cash on avocado toast and artisanal coffee. My rent, the year I got my first real job, was still around $500 a month, and I lived with roommates, which made everything fairly cheap, and guess what? That enabled me to invest a lot. At a young age, when the market was low and everyone else was panicking, most people, bless their hearts, they wait until very late in life to even start worrying about their money situation. And by then, they've lost out on decades of compounding, decades of their money-making babies. For them, the faster you act, the easier your future will be, the bigger you can make the gap between your income and your expenses. The better. It is simple math. Really? Not rocket science. Just basic addition and subtraction, with a sprinkle of patience. Please remember, just a disclaimer. This is not financial advice. I'm not an advisor. I'm simply an idiot with a microphone and a spreadsheet. Please, for the love of your future self, consult financial professionals for actual advice. But seriously, get your money game on point. Your future self will thank you. Probably with a very expensive, non-artisanal coffee, social life, throughout your 20s, your friendships, and your social life. They're going to evolve big time in your early 20s. If you're anything like me, going out to the bars, drinking questionable concoctions, and generally just being a menace to society, probably dominated your social calendar. And let me tell you, that gets old. Quickly, as you enter your mid and later 20s, it becomes expensive. Your liver starts sending you angry emails, and the hangover monster. Oh, the hangover monster only gets stronger with age. It transforms from a mild inconvenience into a full-blown, day-ruining beast. You'll find that you start to value friends that you can have deep conversations with. Friends who can actually formulate complete sentences outside of a noisy bar, outside of the normal going-out lifestyle. Turns out there are a lot of fun activities that you can do that don't involve drinking, which is true, even in Wisconsin, the land of cheese and beer. You'll also notice that your time and the time of your friends will become more limited, as all of you take on more responsibilities. Gone are the days where everyone is available to hang out. At a moment's notice, those glorious carefree days are mostly over. Focus on deep friendships, cultivate those connections that truly nourish your soul, and surround yourself with like-minded people, people who uplift you, who challenge you, who make you want to be a better person. I've found that who you have in your life is usually the main source of happiness. Far, far more than money and things. Try to make sure that you have good people in your life. People who genuinely care, people who support your crazy dreams if you aren't happy with your circle. And let's be honest, sometimes you outgrow people. Put yourself out there, change it. It is tough. It is uncomfortable, but it is essential for your overall well-being. Dating, relating to the section above. Dating can be extraordinarily challenging in your 20s, especially in this wild, wild west that is the internet age. And from what I've seen, dating looks very, very different in your early 20s compared to later in your 20s. Early on, it seems most people are looking to be single, to have low baggage so they can travel the world, to not be looking for anything serious. It is all very casual, very let's just see where this goes. As people get older, a funny thing happens. More people naturally begin dating more intentionally, more seriously. As they start looking for a life partner to settle down with, you'll start to notice people pairing off, like animals on Noah's Ark, leaving everyone else in the trenches, still playing the dating game. This understandably adds some pressure as we get older, especially if you have the goal of starting a family. But here's my advice. Don't, absolutely, do not feel pressured if all of your friends seem to pair off and you're still single. Everyone is on their own timeline, their own unique, sometimes confusing timeline. Work on yourself. Become the best, most dateable version of you that you can be, and always keep your eyes open. Don't be afraid to ask people out, to put yourself out there, to risk rejection. The worst they could say is no. And honestly, a no is better than a what if. Setting aside time for dating is important, not just for finding a partner, but for figuring out what you actually want in a partner, what your deal breakers are, what your non-negotiables are. You might just find them. You never know what you'll learn, who you'll meet, and where it'll take you. Even if it doesn't work out, every interaction is a lesson, a stepping stone, a hilarious anecdote for your future memoir. Health. Oh boy, health. In my early 20s, and probably still too much now. My diet consisted mainly of microwavable food, ramen noodles, frozen pizzas, burgers, fries, and Miller Lite. I guess that is the Wisconsin in me, my apologies to my arteries. But here is the cold, hard truth. This becomes much, much more difficult as you get older. Your metabolism, that glorious, forgiving friend of your youth, it starts to abandon you. It packs its bags and leaves without a trace. eating healthy foods and exercising regularly. It is not just about looking good, it sets you up for success. It seems to enhance all other areas of your life, your focus, your energy, your mood, everything. The gym. It is probably the easiest part of your day to skip, to rationalize away with 100 excuses. But it is essential. Develop these good habits now so that you look and feel amazing into your 30s, 40s, and beyond. It is an investment in your future self. The most important investment you can make, because what is the point of all that money if you're too unhealthy to enjoy it, right? So ditch the processed junk, move your body, even if it is just a 20-minute walk. Your future self will send you a thank you card, probably with a picture of them hiking a mountain, looking fabulous. And lastly, and possibly the most important, develop a value system, or a faith in something bigger than yourself. To me, this could be the single most important thing you do in your 20s. Believe in something. I don't mean you should be angrily tweeting about politics, or getting in people's faces about your beliefs. That is not what I'm talking about. I mean, find something that gives your life meaning, purpose, a framework, volunteer, join a church, a community group, a cause you believe in. Do something that is deeply meaningful to both you and, more importantly, your community. For me, I'm a Christian, and I've found immense peace in volunteering, in finding good groups of people to pray with, to discuss deep topics with. This has been invaluable to me, and it helps me have a framework for the rest of my life. A compass in this often very confusing world. A good value system. It will help you make decisions, navigate challenges, and ultimately, live a life of integrity, of purpose, of true wealth, in this very complicated, often very cynical world. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. For sticking with me on this rambling, slightly caffeinated journey, let me know your thoughts. Anything you've learned in your 20s, any epiphanies, any horror stories, drop them in the comments. I love hearing from you all. Stay boring, stay patient, peace.